Hello, hello, everyone. It's your main man, Darren M. Palmer, Chief Book Officer of Self Publishing 30 Days. I'm so excited to be with you for another episode of the Self Publishing 30 Days podcast. Hey, this is the time, this is the season. Yes, writing books is the reason. Yes, I'm here to share with you today some of the benefits of getting locked in, of doing your book over the holiday season. Some of you might ask, Darren, why are you talking about the holiday season, Darren? We just left Halloween. We not hadn't even at the time of this recording. We haven't even had Thanksgiving yet. And you talking about the reason for the season? Don't we allocate that for Christmas holidays, or don't we allocate that for Kwanzaa, or whatever the holiday that it is for you that you celebrate during that particular time of the year? Yes, I understand where you're coming from with that, but we're also in a critical time where you can separate yourself from others in the marketplace. Separate, yes, yes. Your man Darren M. Palmer, Mr. Chief Book Officer himself, is telling you that this is the opportunity and this is the time to separate yourself. What do I mean by separating yourself? For one, you want to make a decision. Decision about what, Darren? I just thought you brought up reason for the season. You need to make a decision that this is the year for your new book. Even if your book isn't done before the end of the year, you can make great strides, take great strides, and actually making the right decisions that can allow for your next move to be your best move when it comes to getting your book done. So, some of you will be able to get your books done before the year is out. Some of you will be able to get it done by the first quarter of 2023. But if you make the right decisions now, don't create excuses, but create and take advantage of opportunities by nailing it, focusing, executing. Like I said, nailing it. What do you mean by nailing it, Darren? By pinning it. You want to pin that idea to the ground or to the wall and say, you know what? I'm not going to allow this book to escape me. I'm not going to allow this opportunity to get away from my grasp. I'm going to nail it. I'm going to nail it this time. And so these are the things that you want to do. That is taking a action step. It's not, as we say down south, this is not proper English, but I'm fixing to, or I'm finna go do something, or by this time next year, I'm going to do it. If everything in the world is perfect, then I will start to write. No, you have to nail it by saying, I am focused. I am putting this as a priority. It's a priority because I'm scheduling it. I am investing and I'm adding time to make sure that I get this done. So, okay, it's talking about making a decision, the reason for the season. And then the next thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you're getting around the right people, getting the right resources, getting the right information. Like for those of you who are tuned in and learning from this particular podcast today, hey, you're in the right room, you're in the right environment. That allows for you to be able to build up your faith that this is the year for your new book. You don't want to hang around, Debbie Downers or doubters or whatnot, or those who got the Eeyore mentality. Their body language is wrong. The whole aura is off. The energy isn't right in the room. You know what I'm talking about. You go in the room, it's like, this is not my vibe. I got to be on the right vibration, baby. I got to be on a trajectory of my levels, going to higher dimensions and new levels is what I'm about. That's what I want to be. I don't want to be on the ground with a shovel. I want to go higher. And so that's what you want to do too as well. You want to get around the right information, the right people that's able to give you that boost that you need. Those that you have seen who have walked the same path and went over the hot sand just like you, those are the ones that you want to be around. So, like, you know what? That person did it. That person wasn't even too bright, but they still got the book done. It took that person 12, it took that person 20 some years, but they got it done. So I thought I was feeling bad because it took me a couple years, or it's been over 8 months. I knew I should have been writing, but I didn't write the way that I was supposed to. Or, you know what, Darren, I haven't written anything because I realized I'm not the best of writers, but I know I have a burning desire to share that book and get it out into the world. No need to freight, my friend. and nothing terrified of your adversaries, I got good news. The Self Publishing 30 Days crew will be able to be a benefit to you. So, with that being said, getting around the right team, getting the right resources, then also just thinking to yourself, let me treat myself. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. What do you mean by treating yourself, Darren? Come on now. I said, yeah, yeah. Treat yourself. Allocate a budget, allocate some funds towards this. Instead of getting yourself another coffee maker or Kirk or getting you some stuff that you're filling up your garage with. I understand. Or you go get a storage because you have so much. Instead of being a candidate for the next episode of Hoarders, why don't you invest in yourself of a gift that's going to keep on giving? Why not invest in yourself to get that book done? Allocating funds to it. I've had a common theme with some of the people that I have communicated with, not all, but some, you know, they haven't got that far. They know they want to do a book, but for some reason, they typically act like they hadn't came up with an idea of what they want to invest in getting the book done. Don't let that be you. I don't care. You don't have to have everything at one time, but at the same time, why not prepare? Like if I know I'm going on a trip, I prepare for that trip. If I'm anticipating, I'm doing R&D, I'm doing research and development. I'm saying, okay, hey, what is it to get a room, or what is it to get an Airbnb, or what would the flights look like? Is it first class? Am I the back of the class? What does this look like? I get some idea of what the investment is for the journey that I'm embarking on. Even though I'm excited to go on that trip, I'm excited to go to that conference or that seminar or whatever it may be. I'm still thinking, okay, well, um, what is the investment to go to this conference? What is the investment to be a part of this mastermind? Because I need to take care of that, and I need room and board, unless I know somebody I'm staying with somebody. But typically, I have, like to have a spot, have my privacy, downtime to be able to digest what I've been able to receive from the environment that I'm in, because it's a resource as well. And so you got to think about that too. Do not go into the book publishing area and not even contemplate investing anything, because right there, that's a red flag. Like, oh, flag on the play, flag on the play. That's a red flag that you're not as serious as you think you are. So for those of you out there, a book can be anywhere between 7,500 to over 20,000, depending on what you're needing, what you're desiring, and what you're looking at doing. So you want to at least know, okay, hey, I'm able to allocate at least $10,000 to this project. And we have creative ways if it is some other things that you're desiring, but like really, I want to just invest this amount. Then there's some creative ideas and ways and things that we know how to do with a B squared method, book to business method, that will allow for you to be able to expand that and still stay within your budget. I'm not saying for everybody, depending on what you want. Now, of course, if you want the same thing that Michelle Obama or George Bush, if you want the presidential treatment, we do have resources and services for that. But at the same time, you need to have presidential budget as well. So when you know to act your budget or act your wage on it, then you get realistic, or what we call smart goals, that will allow for you to knock it out the park. The issue that some people have is if you're not thinking of what the budget is, but yet and still you got in your mind some ideology that you've seen, maybe a famous author or someone else that you see created a project, but you hadn't did your homework. So this is why we have these informative podcasts, is to be a resource, to be a guide, to be a TumTum, to be a Google Maps, Apple, whatever you want to call it, Siri, whoever it is. We want to be that guide for you, to be able to allow for you to be able to deal with some of the tough questions, but the real questions that you need to make sure that you address with yourself. So when you get ready to move forward, you have an idea of what you're looking for. Last but not least, I just want to share this and also be watchful because some of you will go and do your research, which I encourage you to do your research. That's why I like to operate from a place of abundance. I don't want to have anything hidden under the table or think that I need to tell you anything to do business. Our services aren't for everybody, but it is for the right somebody. But I do want to share this to you so you can not think that this is something that's fraudulent. But the thing that I want you to understand is why I brought up those budgets, because we typically deal with market leaders, those who operate with a sense of excellence. They are using the book as leverage to build upon their brand, or they're doing it as an heirloom because it might not even be about the money with them, but they want to do something that's a lasting representation of their family and their legacy, or heirloom for generations to come. And you don't want to leave something for the next generation, and basically it's trash. So regardless of who you are, if you operate from that space or you building out a nonprofit, a brand, an heirloom, then you want to do stuff with excellence. So that's what I'm talking about. And you want to have rights and control of your project. Now, if you really don't care too much about the project, you just want to say that I'm an author, then you don't really need to go by the budget range that I shared with you, from 7,500 upward to over $20,000. You don't need to think about or worry about that doing that. You can just upload it if it is, because you're really not leveraging it. You don't care who reads it. You don't care how it looks. You're just doing something to do something. Then that's perfectly fine. But for those who are on another level who want it done with excellence, that's what you want to keep in mind, because you can actually go and deal with someone who say, yeah, we'll give you $1,000 for the manuscript, but they have rights of your intellectual property. And it's actually not your intellectual property anymore, or your IP, because they have control and rights of what was formerly known as your book, like the artist formerly known as Prince, rest in peace, because you have no rights and no control. But you got the book done for $5,000, but you don't have any rights or any control. Or someone gave you $1,000, and so you gave up your manuscript for $1,000 because you are still in the mindset it was in the late '80s, that you get a literary agent and the manuscript is so great that people are just going to give you money just for you to write it. And I'm not saying that there are not people out there like that. It's also people who hit the Powerball, and there's also people out there, who make the NBA and the NFL. But for some of the rest of us civilians out there, I mean, we might go pro in something else. And so you want to just keep those type of things in the front of your mind, in front of your eyes, in front of your face, and keep a good idea of what you want to do when it comes to that. Because if you're somebody who got an opportunity where someone might want to do a documentary with you, or a short story, or you want to create a talk or a workshop, or expand upon it, as far as what you're doing. If the publishing company got rights and control of it, now somebody who's creating a short film, or someone who wants to broker a deal with you or do a licensing deal, you're having to have some red tape, because you really are sleeping with the enemy. So even if you don't, even if they don't have all of it, they got a majority of it, or they got a portion. Now you got to do some different things with legalities or whatnot to be able to rid yourself or free yourself up to that, where someone who's doing an additional project will feel comfortable moving forward with you. So these are the type of things that we like to address, and why I brought up coming from a place of overflow, not scarcity, because that could be thousands of dollars worth of consulting, sharing with someone. Now, for the brainiac out there who will listen to this or watch this and then feel the need to tell me that I already knew this, and nobody should have to invest. Okay, that's the same reason people know how to work out, but they get trainers. I think LeBron James, I think Tom Brady, I think Serena Williams, they're great athletes, but they still have trainers. Tiger Wood at his prime, and even now he has trainers. So, consultants are being used in the corporate arena and in the sports arena, for royalty, for clergy. So for those of you who out there who don't believe in personal professional development and is ongoing, then hey, that would be for another day while we discuss that. But for those of you, because I'm focusing on those of you who know that this is the year for your new book. I hope this has been good information for you. I hope that you have been encouraged by what I'm sharing with you today. If you need help, if you need assistance, if you want to be a part of a project that we have called a co-authoring program, I welcome you to join. You might say, Darren, I want to get the book done. I promised myself I would be an author, and you might want to participate in one of our co-authoring programs. We have several projects going right now with different people that what we call as facilitators. They are the leads for those particular projects, and they are theme oriented. So if you find something that it's a cohort that you align with, and you think, okay, this is something that I have purpose, I feel passionate about it, and I want to profit with this team of people, and to be able to have some individually that I'm able to use as a resource for myself for the things that I'm doing and move into 2023, and then look at doing a solo project, but get my feet wet with that, then reach out to us. All you have to do is just reach out at info at selfpublishin30days.com. That's info at selfpublishin30days.com. If you need any other information, you can reach out on any of our social media platforms, at self-publish in 30 days. It's self-publish, the letter N, not IN or ING, the letter N, 30 days. That's what you put on our social media platforms. But anyway, if you need any other help, any assistance, there will be information where you can even connect with us from this particular podcast, whether you're listening to it and viewing it on YouTube, or whether you're listening to it on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, wherever you are in the world, then we will still be able to serve you. And I literally mean all over the world. We work with people across the globe. But until next time, it's your main man, Darren M. Palmer, Chief Book Officer of Self Publishing 30 Days, telling you that this is the year for your new book. So don't miss the opportunity to let your next move be your best move. Until next time, be blessed and be great.